Hi guys, April here. Welcome back to my channel. Taking a little break from canning and doing some crocheting for the holiday season. And the last couple of days I've been crocheting some ornaments for my Christmas tree. I came across this little guy this morning and I absolutely fell in love with him. He's so adorable. And so I thought I would share him with you. And hopefully you guys can have the same little cute little Santa. He's like, look at me, I'm Santa. Okay, anyway, enough of that. All right, so what you're going to need for this project, I'm not going to show you the balls of wool just because my camera's dangling precariously from my coffee table. So I probably can't get the entire balls into this shot, so I'm just going to go over it with you. For the reds, there are two different reds. I chose red Karen Simply Soft yarn with these little sparkles in it. I just wanted to do the sparkle thing just because it's on the tree and the lights would reflect off of it and make him twinkle on the tree a little bit. For his nose and mouth, I just chose regular Red Heart comfort yarn, 1 pound yarn. So you can just use the same for both, whichever you choose. But I didn't want him to have a sparkly nose and mouth, so I went with the just regular plain red wool for that. For the beard, same thing. I used Red Heart Comfort wool, 1 pound. This was the huge ball of wool. It's a thicker kind of stronger yarn, but it's puffier, so it made his beard puff up a little bit. And then for his skin, I chose pink. Now you can go with a regular skin color, but I wanted pink just because he's Santa, so I think he should be a little bit rosy. So this is just Karen Simply Soft pink wool. So that's what I used for my wools, and then I used googly eyes for his eyes. Now for his nose, I did an embroidery knot. You can do the same thing with black wool for the eyes, but I just wanted to go googly eyes because I thought it was cuter. Tools you're going to need for this project is, of course, your crochet hook. I went with a 4.25. Now the pattern calls for a size 5 hook. I started making it with a size 5 hook today, and I got about halfway. Oh, it's not going to focus in. I got about halfway through and realized that the face was going to be far too large, and I just didn't want him that big on my tree, so I went down to a size 4.25, and this one worked perfect for me. You're also going to need scissors so you can end your stitches. You're going to need a darning needle. This project has an awful lot of ends that you're going to need to weave in the end, so you're definitely going to need a darning needle for that. And then, of course, as I mentioned, googly eyes. Again, if you decide to go with googly eyes, then you're going to, these are just the small size, not the smallest size, but these are just the size that I preferred for him, which pretty much take up most of his face. And then if you go with the googly eyes, you're going to need a glue gun. Just a generic dollar store glue gun for a couple bucks, really easy to acquire. Okay, so meet me back here in a minute and we'll get started. Okay, so to start with, you're going to want to grab your pink wool or skin color wool, whatever color it is that you chose for Santa's face. And you're going to want to start off with a magic circle. Now, I will be honest with you. I have never done a magic circle before today. Today was my first time, so I'm going to attempt to show you how to do this, but I'm not very good at it. So if you're having a hard time following it by my instruction, then I definitely encourage you to search up some magic ring tutorials. There are lots of really good ones on YouTube, but I'm going to do the best I can. All right, so we're going to start off. You're going to put your wool in front and secure it with your thumb, and then you're going to wrap your wool around 3 fingers, okay? Now you want to crisscross it, so you want to cross it over like a letter X, and then pull it back down in the back, and then you want to secure it here at the bottom. I personally wrap it around my pinky just to keep it secure, but I mean, it's entirely up to you. And then you're going to, I'm laughing at myself because I already know how funny this is going to be. Mine is not going to be a neat one, but it's going to be successful at some point, okay? So you're going to go under the first string here, and then you're going to try to hook this bottom string. Once you've got it hooked, you're going to pull it out from under the top string there. So you've got this little loop on your hook. I'm going out of focus because I'm either too far out or too far in. I'm not sure. Okay, and then you want to hook the bottom string a second time, wrap it around your hook, and then you're going to pull it through the little loop that you had there. If I can get mine through there. So you're going to pull it through that little loop, and there you go. Okay, so now you're going to secure this with your finger because you want it to stay in place, and then just gently let it go, and there you have your magic ring. Now you want to keep your string on this side, this little loose string here. You want to keep them on this side because you want to keep that secure, because we're going to go over top of that later. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit for me so it's easier for me to work on. And then we'll get started. Okay, so you're going to start off, you're going to chain 3. I'm just going to pull this guy here, this little string here that's dangling. I'm going to pull him a little bit tighter, make the ring a little smaller so that it's easier for me to work with. Like I said, I'm new to the magic ring, so I'm very wobbly with it, and this actually took me 7 or 8 takes just to do the magic ring part, so I think that's hysterical. Okay, so you're going to start off, you're going to chain 3. So you want to 1, 2, and 3. So that's going to act as your very first double crochet. Okay, I promise you I'm not this bad at crocheting. It's just the magic ring part that kind of has me fumbling around a little bit. Once we get going, I'll be okay. All right, so now we're going to do double crochet. We want to do 12 more double crochets into this center ring. So you'll have 13 in total. So you're going to wrap around your hook, wrap around one time, go down through this little loop here, yarn over again, pull it back through, and then you're going to pull through 2, and then pull through 2 again. And that will be your second double crochet, because your chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and then that double crochet is your second. And again, we want 13 all together. Okay, so again, we're going to yarn over, go into the loop, pull back through the loop. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's our third double crochet. Yarn over, go into the loop, back through, yarn over, chain through 2, yarn over, chain through 2. Oops, chain through 2. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other 8 off camera just so I don't look so silly. And once you're done all 12, meet me back here and I'll show you how to finish. Okay, so once you've done your 13 double crochets or 12 double crochets plus your initial chain 3 here at the beginning, you have 13 in total. You're going to grab this little string here. It should kind of look like a half of a rainbow. So you're going to grab this little string here and give it a yank, and that should close up this circle nice and tight. So you're going to have this little, we want to close this. This is why you can't really do a chain 2. You can, because sometimes it works, but other times it doesn't. And you need this completely tight so that there's no space in there. So you want to pull it really, really tight there. And then you're going to go up to the top. My lighting is really poor here. You're going to go up to the top of this chain 3. See if I can get it into focus. So if you want to count here, you can see this chain 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. You want to go into this little hole right here. Okay, so that's your the top of your first chain 3, and we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay, so you pull through and then pull through the second one. Pull it tight, and there we've closed that ring. So now it is completely closed. Tighten up this backing as best you can. Once you've done that, this is now his face. We're going to chain over, pull through, and then we're going to snip this piece of wool, pull through, and now we have finished our face. So just pull that a little bit tight there, and there you go. So there's his face. I know, it looks very small, I know, but trust me, in the end it works. Okay, so now we will move on to his head and beard. Okay, so now we're going to change colors. We're going to change to the white. So what you want to do is, now you can fasten this on however you want. Some people just leave it loose and then weave it in later. I personally like to tie it in just to make it more secure, and it's going to be hidden so you can't see the knot. So you want to go in between the two. Of course, you know, if you're crocheting, all stitches are made up of two of the two little posts there. So you want to make sure you go through the top two. You can start anywhere you want. This is just where I choose to start because I'm going to try to weave in that end. You're going to pull your white wool through, and then again you can just leave this loose if you choose. I personally prefer to knot it. It's whatever works best for you, but I like to knot it just for added security. So we're going to knot that in there. Okay, now we're going to go through that same spot. I know it looks really messy, but I promise you're not going to see this down the road. So I'm going to pull all of these threads over to get them out of the way. Okay, and then I'm going to grab this little string here, the white one, and I'm going to pull that through and then secure it with a chain. Okay, so now you're going to chain up 3. So chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to come back down into that same hole, to the same space that you went into the first time, and do a double crochet. So you chain over, go into that space, chain over, and then you're going to pull through 2 and pull through 2. Okay, and then into the next stitch, which is a little bit hard to see because there's a chain there. There's this space here, but it's this little guy right here because I'm going to skip over this guy because he's actually my space, so I don't want to use him. So we're going to skip over him and we're going to go right into the next chain. So you're going to chain over and go through this little, again, 2 posts, chain over, pull through 2, and then pull through 2. And then into that same space, you're going to repeat that. You're going to do another double crochet into that same space. Okay, so now you have 2 double crochets. Now you have this little space here. You won't be able to see it later. I would just leave it in for now. I'm second guessing myself, but I'll keep going and let's hope it works out in the end. Okay, so into the next space, we're going to do 2 double crochets. And then you're going to do 2 double crochets in every space all the way around. I encourage you to watch this portion through just in case I'm wrong and I need to do that space. I may have to unwind it and redo it. So I encourage you to do this portion all the way through once. So see how you have these little sections here, so it's easy to count. You have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and each one of those consists of 2 double crochets. Okay, so when you're done, we want 26 stitches all the way around because we started off with 13 stitches, so we want 26 now when we're done. Okay, so continue on and meet me back here once you have 26 stitches. Again, that's 2 in each stitch, 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. Okay. Okay, so I finished my 26 stitches and it did work out. This little part here had me a bit confused, but it's because I went into the previous stitch and not into the chain space, so it was just kind of wider there, so it looked a little wonky, but I have 26 stitches. So now I am going to finish off. So we're going to count and go to the top of this chain 3 and slip stitch and close that circle up. There we go. And now we are for now done with the white wool, so we're going to end this and then pull through, and there we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the red. Now at this point, if you want to start weaving in some of your ends, you can. Some people choose to sew in the ends as they go. I don't like doing that because I find that after so much usage of your projects, they do eventually poke out and pop out in the ends, and I don't like that. I think it looks, especially if you're gifting this to somebody, I like it to be neat, and I like it to keep shape. So go ahead and weave these in. Like I said, I go as, you can wait and do it at the end, but I like to do it as I go. So I'm going to meet you back here after I weave these in, and we'll get started with the red. Okay, so I've sewed in all my ends, and now I'm going to switch to red. And again, you can start wherever you like. So I'm just going to slip into this chain here at the top. And I have my red sparkly wool here, by the way. So we're just going to pull this through. And again, you can fasten it however you like. I personally prefer to knot it. It's just my way. You don't have to put a knot. A lot of people don't like putting knots in their crochet work, but I like the extra security of knowing that it's fastened on there tightly. Okay, so once you've done that, you're just going to go through that same loop, pull through. Ooh, my thingies here is loose, but that's okay. It'll be tied in later anyways. And pull through. So that's going to be your first chain. So we're going to chain, that was chain 1. We're going to chain 2 and then chain 3. And as before, this will act as our very first double crochet. And then into the next 3 stitches, we're going to insert a double crochet. So 1, and because I've knotted this one, I'm going to go ahead and sew it in. After I just said that I don't like to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I'm trying to get this done before my little one wakes up from her nap. Next one, we're going to do a double crochet. So we're going to do 4 double crochets in total. I hope the lighting's a little bit better. I closed my curtains. The sun was kind of reflecting in on the white, which made it a little bit hard to see. Okay, so now we've got 4 double crochets, and now into the next stitch, we're going to do an increase into this little stitch right here. Okay, so you're going to yarn over and do a double crochet into that stitch. Pull through 2, and then into that same stitch, we're going to do a second double crochet. Okay, and then repeat that into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So go 1 and 2, and then into the next 4 stitches, we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 4. So we should, in the end, have a total of 12 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so now we are done that front part. So in the end, you should, like I said, have 12 stitches there. We're going to chain up 1 and then turn your work. And now we're going to do some decreasing. Okay, so now we're going to do a round of decreases along this back side here. So what you want to do is you want to find, it's a little bit hard to see, but this first hole, which is just where you just turned your work. So right here in this first hole, you're going to insert your hook. We're going to do a single crochet into that hole. Okay, so you're going to pull that through till you have 2 pieces of yarn on your wool. Then you're going to go into the next hole. You're going to do that again. So you're going to insert your hook, chain over, pull through, and you should have 3 loops on your hook. Chain over, and then pull through all 3. And that is your decrease. Okay, and so you're just going to do that 1 decrease for this round. For the next little bit. So now we're going to do 8 single crochets into the next 8 stitches. Okay, so easy peasy. So I'm just going to go easy peasy, but I can't do 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now we're going to do another decrease. This is the last decrease of this round, okay? So into this next hole, and you might have to stretch out your work a little bit so you can see that little space right there. It's very tight to see. We're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to go into this next space here, and you're going to insert your hook, pull through. So now you've got 3 spaces on your hook, and then you're going, or sorry, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that was the end of that round. So now we're going to single crochet. We always single crochet at the end of every round, just because that's going to be the start of the next round, and then turn your work. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do our second round of decreases. So we're going to go into this little space right there. Okay, so we're just going to insert your hook. This is just a single crochet, and we're going to do 1. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. Bad me. Okay, let me do that again. We're doing a decrease here, so we're going to, sorry, I'm reading from the pattern as I go here. I'm out of focus. Okay, so we're going to insert your hook into that hole, pull through, 2 loops on the hook, insert into the next chain, pull through till you have 3 loops on the hook, pull through all 3, and that completes your decrease. Now we're going to just do single crochets into the next 8 stitches, same as before. So we're basically repeating the exact same round as last time, as the last row. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to go down the side of this post here. So we're going to be working in this little section here, which is, it's not as neatly as neat as the top, so it's a little more difficult to see what you're going to be doing. But we're going to be putting 3 single crochets into this section. Okay. So you're going to find your first little hoop here. It's a little bit hard to see. You got to kind of stretch out your material, and you can see it right there. Okay, so you're going to go a single crochet into that one, and then you're going to single crochet into this little chain space right here. You see this little space here? So we're going to single crochet into that space. All we're trying to do is bring the wool down back to the hairline, and then you're going to go into this little space where this red guy starts here. So we're going to go into that space, and we're going to single crochet, and then that completes that round. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit fiddly, especially for those who are new to crocheting. This one can be a little bit difficult to follow. I promise you that I'll go or keep it in focus as much as I can. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and chain 3 here. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now into this second chain from the hook. So not this first guy here, but this second guy here. Sorry, it goes out of focus whenever I move my hands too much. See if it'll come back and focus. Focus, focus, focus. No, it's not going to come into focus. Okay, so into this little second guy here. Okay, so remember, here's your first chain, here's your second chain. You're going to insert your hook and just do a single crochet. Oh, come on, I need you to focus here. There we go. So now we're going to just do a single crochet into that little chain. And then you're going to go to the next chain down. So that's the one that's closest to your work there. So this was your first chain. Now you're going to go into your second chain. So excuse me, this is your third chain because you skipped over the first chain and then did a single crochet into the second and third chains, okay? A little bit wobbly there, I know. Okay, so now you have those 3, all right, that you single crocheted into. Now I want you to turn your work. Okay, and you could have turned your work before actually we started this round, but that's okay. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Now into this next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet. So not the stitch we were just working in, that's this one here. We're going to go into the next one and we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do that all the way across. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 into this little space right here. We're going to put the 12th one, okay? Okay, just grab some more wool here. Okay, so now we're going to work down this side again, but all we're going to do into this side this time is we're going to slip stitch into this side, okay? So we're going to go into this first chain here that you see. They're a little difficult to see on this side because they don't come up as neat because it's an end of a row. So you're going to go into that top chain there, and we're just going to slip stitch, which means you're going to pull through your hoop, or pull through the stitch, and then you're not going to chain over, you're just going to pull through the stitch again. Okay, so that's one time. Now you're going to go into the next chain and you're going to slip stitch again, and then you're going to skip over this stitch right here. We don't want to stitch into this one, we want to go right into this next one that's just a solid white. Okay, that's going to pull this whole lip down and make it look a little more like a hat. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch into that one, and that's it. Okay, pull that tight, and now pause for a second. I need to go check on my little one, and then we'll continue on. Okay, so we're going to finish this one off. I should have actually done this before I paused. I had to go check on my little one. She's going to wake up, so I'm feeling a little bit kind of like I have to rush through this. I'm sorry, because I'm trying to get it done before she wakes up from her nap. Otherwise, it's going to be quite loud in here. So once you finish that off, you just pull the wool through, give it a snip. Again, you can weave this in now as you go, or you can wait and do it later. Okay, so this is the front side of my work, and so now we have our little Santa hat. So the hat comes down nicely. It should fold down in this corner. If it doesn't, then you've missed something or you've done something incorrectly. We're going to attach a pom-pom on this little corner once we're done. Okay. Now we will move on to the beard. Okay, so now we're going to go back to working with the white yarn or wool, and you're just going to go into this first stitch here of white that's underneath the red. It's really funny because I'm working just by the lights from my Christmas tree, and it comes up so bright on the camera, and yet for me, when I'm looking over the camera at my work as I go, it's extremely dark and kind of hard for me to see. So again, now I'm going to attach this. I'm going to tie it. Again, it's my chosen method. See that sliver I have under my thumbnail? That thing's smarts, let me tell you. Okay, so I fastened that off, and now I'm gonna go ahead and work it in because it's been fastened off. So I know it's not going to pop out. Uh-oh, I can hear my baby on the monitor. Okay, so we're gonna go through that loop, pull it through. We're gonna do a chain 3. So we're gonna chain through here, chain 3 here. 1, 2, 3, and then into this bottom chain. Sorry, I totally did that wrong. Let's do that again. I heard my baby on the monitor and it distracted me. Okay, so we're going to do a single crochet. So single crochet into that space, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. So you should have a chain of 4 here. Now in the third chain from your hook, so you're going to go 1, 2, and 3. So this little guy here, you're going to insert and do a single crochet into that stitch. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and this is called the picot stitch. I think that's how it's pronounced, picot. Okay, and then into the next stitch, you're going to insert your hook, do a single crochet, so pull through 2, and then you're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, and then again, third chain from the hook, so 1, 2, 3. You're going to insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 for a single crochet, and see how you get these little nubbies here? So these are picot stitches, and that is probably the most difficult stitch of this whole project. So, but we're going to be doing a whole bunch of these now, so by the time we're done, you'll be a master at it. Okay, next one, single crochet into that next stitch. So we're gonna single crochet, just gonna do 1 or 2 more, and then I will meet you back after you've completed 15 of these. Okay, so yarn over, pull through. Okay, next stitch, single crochet, pull through 2, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go down, third chain from the hook, insert your hook, do a double crochet, and that's it. So you're going to repeat that 15 times until you get to the other side, and I will meet you back on the 15th stitch. Okay, so I've done 14 of the picot stitch, so I just want to show you the very last one and how to finish off this round. So we're going to single crochet into this next stitch. Whoops. And then you're going to chain 3, complete your picot, which you should have mastered by now. Okay, and then once that's done, we're just going to see in this little chain space here, you have 2 chain spaces left. One will have the red in it and one will be by itself. Okay, the one that's by itself, we're just going to do a single crochet into that space, and then that will end this round. So you do your single crochet. Now I would have liked for this pattern to just be able to go back the other way, which is why you end up with so many ends on this pattern, because you really can't do that. It comes up looking wonky. I did try it, and you just can't do it. It's not possible. So we have to end here, and then for the second level of the beard, we're going to have to come